Hey, my name is Krajewski, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about the last few books I read in May. And I say few, but it's actually more than a few. I wanted to film this video in this location, so I'm gonna film it now. I am feeling quite tired from recent sensory overload, so if I yawn or seem in any way slow or something, I'm gonna try to, edit it to a hopefully somewhat coherent video and cut out my pauses and and stimming and stuff. But well, just so you know, I'm not feeling my best right now. But I know that people like this location. For those who don't know, I used to live here. This is my parents' house, and I used to live here, but then in summer 2020 we moved into our own house, my partner. Anyway, I'm here right now, so I thought I'd film this. I think this is part 4 of the books I read in May videos. As usual, timestamps will be in the description. We have a pile of books to get through, so let's just get started. So the first book I finished after the previous video with, I think the last video was finishing my library loans. So yeah, the first book I read after that is If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon. My friend Emily from Novel Novels recommended this to me. Well, she recommended this author, and I think I asked her at some point what would be a good one to start with, or something like that. Anyway, Emily really loves this author, and I really love this book too. I was expecting that I would like it, but I loved it even more than that. So that was a great surprise. I think this is my favorite book that I read in May. Yeah, so here is the synopsis on the back. This book is about Angie. She has always wanted to travel, but she hasn't been outside the small town where she was born. She lives in a small town in Australia. Her mother passed away soon after she was born. She lives with her grandparents. Her grandfather died at some point. She's taking care of her grandmother, who is in need of a lot of care. Close to the beginning of the book, the grandmother passes away, and so now Angie has no remaining family, and she doesn't necessarily have to stay in this small mining town, so she can go and travel like she's wanted to do for a long time. And then she finds a letter that talks about her birth father, who is from Italy. So she travels to Italy and things go on from there. This book involves romance, family. There's also themes of grief and other things I don't want to spoil. I really liked the writing style of the author. It was a quick read. I flew through it. I really liked all the descriptions of the Italian food and Italian buildings and things that Angie went to see. Yeah, I loved this, and now I'm gonna have to go and I think I own One Perfect Christmas and Other Stories, which I found cheap one day, and so I bought that. Don't know if I own any other ones, but either way, everything I don't own by this author is now gonna go onto my wish list. So yeah, this was a great read for me. The next book I finished is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I buddy read this together with Emily from Novel Novels. This is a sort of historical fiction, but also with a theme of time travel. So the nowadays timeline is in 1976. Our main character is Dana, and here is the synopsis on the back. But she, without wanting to, travels back in time to the 1800s. So this book takes place in the United States. She time travels back to the 1800s, to the south of the United States, where black people are assumed to be enslaved. So yeah, Dana travels back in time as Rufus, a white boy on a Maryland plantation. His life is in danger, and then somehow she time travels back and she has to save him. I really liked this book, but I was disappointed in the ending. So for a long time while reading this, I thought it was going to be a 5-star based on many other people on BookTube have given this a high rating. And I really liked most of it, but I was disappointed in the ending, because after the ending I still had some questions that weren't answered, and so because of that I can't give it a full rating. So it's more a 4-star than a 5-star. It was still a nice read though. Definitely has some hard-hitting topics in here, but yeah, definitely an interesting read. And I liked it. I was just disappointed in the ending, and I was kind of expecting that this would be a 5-star, and then it wasn't. But yeah, definitely an important work. I did really grow to like a lot of the characters in here, and yeah, it was heartbreaking sometimes. So yeah, then I realized that I actually had the graphic novel of Kindred, and which I temporarily forgot about while I was reading the actual book. And then I was like, well, I might as well read this now while the story is still fresh in my head, and see if I get any more answers to the questions in the ending in this. So I read the graphic novel of Kindred, which is adapted by Damian, Duffy and Jennings. And I like the graphic novel. I didn't get any more answers around the ending, so the ending was just as much of a disappointment. But what I really liked about the graphic novel is the way that the color palette is used. So basically like this is the 1976 timeline, which is kind of in these like, well, I'm not quite sure how to describe, but in these like kind of beige brown tones. But then the like the timeline of the 1800s has then different tones, which then represents how it feels to the character. Which there is like at the back an interview with the 2 people who adapted it, who explained that, because I couldn't have put it into words. So before, let's see if I give you another example. So this is like kind of more like sort of bluish purplish tones. But well, the authors themselves, the adapters describe it better than I can. But so it's this bit here. Can you describe the book's use of color? Which, yeah, I thought that was really nicely done. I realized it's a bit hard to explain. You kind of have to read the book to like understand what I mean exactly. Specifically, also read that bit in the notes, because I'm not great at explaining that. But yeah, anyway, I thought that was really well done. But yeah, so I kind of gave this, I think, a similar rating as the original book, I think. But yeah, 4 stars, I think. So yeah, this was a nice adaptation. I thought it's not like you get a lot more with this than the original book, and obviously the book has more, like you can see the internal thoughts of the character and stuff. But yeah, it was a nice companion to the book I had just read, and yeah, so I liked it. Then after reading that graphic novel, I felt like reading some more graphic books. So I read volume 12 of Himouto Umaru-chan by Sankakuhead. This is the like last official volume in the series. This series is about Umaru and her brother. Well, I've talked about this series plenty of times on my channel, but it is about Umaru and her friends and her big brother. So she lives with her big brother. She has friends in high school. So in high school she is like seemingly like this perfect student, but at home she like kind of turns into this like lazy person that just wants to play video games and watch TV and eat snacks. Yeah, and then after that I read this is called like G1, so I'm not sure, but it's like an extra volume. I don't know if there'll be more than that or not because of the one, I'm not sure. I think Amazon just called this volume 15, but that's not what it actually says on the book. Anyway, so it's like some extra stories and stuff with the same characters. And yeah, I enjoyed this one as well. And I think it'll be nice also to like reread the whole series in one go sometimes, because it's been some time since I read volumes 1 through 11 in this series. So but I kind of didn't want it to end, so that's why I waited with picking up these last two. With reading them, I mean, I had bought them when they came out, I think, or soon after. So yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed this manga series. Oh, I guess I should show a little bit of the art. Yeah, so I enjoyed reading these two. Next I finished Het kleine boekje van stress, which is like, it's really tiny. In English this is called The Little Book of Stress. It's by Stuart and Linda Macfarlane. Oh, and cartoons by Roland Fiddy. I picked this up for cheap somewhere, but cute. This is not a book as a how to be less stressed. It's a book about how to be more stressed. And it's kind of done in a humorous tone. It's not like very long, but it has some funny things. There's also like illustrations. Now obviously my copy is in Dutch, so you might not really understand, of course, what it says, but yeah, it was just a tiny fun read. Next up, I read volume 8 in the Phoebe and the Unicorn series, and this one is called Phoebe and the Unicorn in Unicorn Theater. This is by Dana Simpson. Here's the back. Now usually these are more like looser short comics, but this book, like I think was it book 6, was more like a one story. Anyway, an earlier volume was also like one whole story, but the other books are more like sort of separate comics. There is one overarching story, but not all of the comics have to do with that. I don't know if I'm explaining this all well. This is a cute series for, well, I guess older children, and it's about Phoebe and her unicorn. Here are some illustrations. So the ones in this book are quite big. Sometimes when like the ones that have separate comics are, then you have like more pictures on one page, but this seems big. But you know, these are just kind of like, I don't know if comfort read is the right word, but these are just kind of just fun. I find them fun to read. So the unicorn is called Marigold. This one also involves Marigold's sister. Phoebe goes to camp, and at the camp they're gonna do a play. And Phoebe's friends are also involved. Yeah, I found this an enjoyable read. Then I read Stranger Planet by Nathan W. Pyle. I have previously read Strange Planet by the same author. I don't have that with me here, but if I made a video when I read that earlier book, I will link it. I don't quite remember when I read that, so. But this is basically more of his cartoons. So if you like the first one, I think you'll like this one as well. But I should also say a lot of these cartoons the author posts on his Instagram. Just to show you a few pages. Yeah, I like this. So it's basically these like aliens that come to Earth and try to do as the people on Earth do. But of course they call things in like they use different words for like our things, and it's funny, and well, I enjoyed it. Next up I read Measuring Up by Lily, LaMotte and Anne Sue. Colors by Sunmi. This is a middle grade novel. Here is the synopsis. This is about Sissy. She moved from Taiwan to Seattle with her parents, but her grandmother is still living in Taiwan, and she really would like her grandmother to come visit them in the United States to celebrate her grandmother's birthday, because her grandmother's going to be 70 soon. And so Sissy decides to enter this cooking competition so she can win the first prize, which is then money, and she can use that to pay for the plane ticket. But Sissy just knows how to make Taiwanese food and not like, I guess, more American food. She also has trouble fitting in at her new school. There's also a theme of friendship in here. And yeah, I really enjoyed this. The focus on cooking and friendship and family. I'll see if I can find some illustrations. I mean, let's show you some of the artwork. And yeah, I really like this. The next book I read is The Magic Fish by Trung and Nguyen. This is the synopsis on the back. I like this, but I didn't love it. I picked this up based on, I don't know, somebody's review on BookTube, or maybe multiple people's review, and it was kind of just different than what I thought I remembered that those people said, but it's also possible that I misremember because it's been some time, so that's probably on me. So this book is about Tien, and he is struggling to come out to his parents, but his parents are struggling to speak English, and our main character doesn't know how to come out to them in Vietnamese. They're refugees, and throughout the book there's also these fairy tales that kind of connect Tien to his parents. And I also enjoyed the way color palettes were used in this book, because it's like, so Tien's story is like in one color palette and then the fairy tales are in another, if that kind of, so you can easily see like what's the fairy tale as it's like woven through the narrative of our main character, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. And then there's also, well, that's not until later on, but there's also like a slightly different another narrative. I'm trying not to spoil. That's also like this yellow color palette, and so I like this. I didn't love it, but I liked it. But that's probably due to wrong expectations on my part. Yeah, I like the art style, and it was an interesting read. Then we have Séance Tea Party by Reimena. Here is the back. This is about Laura, and that's Lora. Her friends are kind of fading away a bit, she feels, and then she has this tea party and she meets this ghost who she befriends. I really like the art style in here. Let's see if I can show some of the art style. This was a fun book. It had a focus on friendship, but not just friendship. But yeah, I really like this. I'm sorry, I'm tired, so I'm struggling what to maybe say about some of these as detailed, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy them. I did enjoy them a lot. In fact, if I didn't enjoy them, I would probably better be able to articulate what I didn't enjoy, whereas when I enjoy something, I find it harder to say, like, yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I have low energy at the moment. I had a bad sensory overload yesterday. So the next one I've read is Primer by Jennifer Muro, Thomas Krajewski, and art by Gretel Lusky. Letters by Wes Abbott. I just love these colors. So this book is about it's a superhero graphic novel. Our main character is Ashley. I guess I would say this is young adult, as Ashley is a teenager. Her father is in prison and she goes from foster home to foster home, but she tends to get into trouble. Then she finds loving new foster parents, and she's hoping things will work out this time. She's very creative, as you can see. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it too much. I found this a really enjoyable book. Let me show you some of the art. And it's also like a different kind of superhero. And yeah, I really like this. Then I read Nubia, Real One, by LL McKinney and Robyn Smith. This is also about a superhero. Here's the back of it. So Nubia has superpowers, but because she is a black female teenager, and on the bigger side, they she tends to have to hide her superpowers because the police like quickly suspect that she is like a villain rather than trying to help, if that makes sense. Here is some of the art. Well, and I really enjoyed this book. We don't have, well, there aren't as many superheroes like this. Like most superheroes tend to be white males, white cis males. So yeah, I thought this was really, I really enjoyed this. Yeah, there are some trigger warnings for this. Yeah, I thought this was really good. Then I read 3 Katie O'Neill books. The first one is Princess Prince Ever After by Katie O'Neill. This is a short book about 2 princesses. Here's a synopsis on the back. So, Princess Amira rescues Princess Sadie from the tower she's in. Let's show you, this is the first page. Yeah, this is sapphic. I really liked it. It's not a very long book. I just found it really cute and I really liked it. Next I read The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. This is book 1 in, I think it's just called the Tea Dragon Society series. I would love to read book 2, but haven't been able to find it yet for a price. Well, to be honest, I'm kind of low on funds, so I can't really buy books anyway at the moment, but I do have it on my wish list. Anyway, this was really cute as well. This is about tea dragons, and again, some LGBT themes through it. I really like the art of this as well. Here's synopsis on the back. So, our main character finds a tea dragon in the marketplace, who is lost, and after getting it back to, well, its home, Gretel learns about the art of the tea dragon caretaking. And yeah, this was just really nice. And yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Then we have Africorn Cove, also by Katie O'Neill. And I also really liked this. This one has kind of a theme of like good like care for the environment, in the sense of like plastic in the ocean and stuff. Here's some of the art, which I again really liked. In this one, Lena and her father return to their hometown that is by the sea to help clear the debris of the storm. Lana's, I think she's her aunt, lives there. Yeah. And Lana feels how much she misses the ocean. Yeah, anyway, this was also really cute and I really enjoyed it. The next 4 books, these 4, I read for Picture This 2022. This is a readathon that was run in April, but in April I didn't get around to it. I was reading library loans as well. Yeah, and so they said it was also okay if I did it later in the year. So I picked up these 4 picture books from my picture book shelf. They were all rereads, and I just picked these 4 because these are some of my favorites from when I was a kid. And well, I read them here, and I kind of wished I had taken more because I really wanted to read and reread some more of my picture books, but I couldn't because I was here. So I would like to actually reread some of my picture books, more of my picture books later this year. Yeah, I would have liked to do it now, but I couldn't, so I had to do it with the books I brought here. But yeah, I really enjoyed rereading these 4, so I'll go through them now. I should say I have, maybe I'll include some footage of the picture book shelf that I took at an earlier time. Most of the picture books I have come from my childhood that I was gifted by family members or by my parents, or so I don't have a lot of like newer ones or ones for adults. Although, you know, it could be debated if like some of Katie O'Neill's books might fit. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what the like the exact differences between like a picture book and a like graphic novel or like an illustrated book, or yeah. But yeah, I did buy some picture books in library sales like a few years ago. So I do have a few. Well, I do have some that don't come from my childhood. In May I'm doing a couple of buddy reads downstairs, and I'm upstairs now, so I can't show you these books. But I'm reading a couple books together with some booktube friends. So I'll be reading those. I'll obviously finish this. And I'm gonna try to read some picture books for the Picture This 2022, which was in April. But yeah, I was already reading 10 books at once, so I didn't want to add more to that. But I would like to do that, so fingers crossed. And I would also like, yeah, depending on how things go, to go to the library again. Because I haven't been there in a while. And I have been reading a lot of books in English, so I could do with some Dutch books. And actually, at the moment, I checked, because I checked book statistics, I have read more non-fiction than fiction this year. And so I think it would be really nice to read some Dutch children's books. I tend to go to the children's and young adult section in the library more than the adult section. But yeah, I've been reading a lot of books in English, and I think it'd be good to read some books in Dutch as well, and you know, not too many books at once. Yeah. And just a quick look, don't mind the mess. Here is my picture book shelf, which contains picture books from mostly my childhood and some that I bought at a later time from library sale and such. I don't have the money to buy them brand new generally. Well, I don't have much money anyway, but so yeah, most of these are from like my childhood. But some of them are a bit newer. So I'm just going to, I thought I also had some like smaller books like there, which, sorry about that, which I don't see them all now. I think they're behind there, but yeah. This mess is some clothes because my partner, he has ME and insomnia, chronic fatigue, and so he is currently sleeping during the day and I'm sleeping at night. So I've been having to have some clothes in here because I can't get dressed in the bedroom. Yeah, anyway. And my wardrobe is in the bedroom. So yeah, I think I will be choosing some books from here, but I have to see what I fancy. Maybe some stuff I haven't read in a while, because I have reread some books from my childhood, like in the past few years, so maybe something that's been a while, or just saying I fancy. These aren't quite picture books maybe, but anyway, maybe I'll show you closer later. I might reread this, that's a newer book for me, but I enjoyed that, so maybe I'll reread 365 Penguins, because, oh yeah, so all of these are in Dutch as well, in case, as you know. Oh, I might reread this. This is translated, but I love this. So, and this, we're going all off topic now, but this was one of my favorite books as a kid, one of my favorite picture books. I don't know if this might have been translated, but either way, I think I might reread this, because that was always one of my favorites, maybe my absolute favorite. I did reread this one, because I found that at the library sale a few years ago. I was like, hey, I recognize that. I read that as a kid. So I did reread that more recently, but I'm thinking I should definitely include this one, because that was always one of my favorites. And also, this is also translated. I think based on her name, it looks like it might have come from English, but yeah, I also really enjoyed that one. Yeah, but obviously I was dependent as a kid what, this might be English, I don't know, because it says Journey. But yeah, I depended on, obviously, as a kid, what my family bought me and read to me. So, other than the ones I bought at a later time, but I've gone completely off topic. I probably should have saved this for when I'm actually going to do this. Oh, I love this as well. This is not a translation, this one name. I love this. Yeah, I want to reread that. Okay. Anyway, but these 4 that I read now were rereads. I read them lots of times. The first one is Monkey by Dieter Schubert. I read this so many times as a kid. This book is kind of falling apart. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like, I don't know if you can see it, but that's like tape. It's been stuck together many times. Well, as you can see, because this was such a favorite for me when I was a kid. And the interesting thing about this book is actually that there is, I think, barely any text in it. The story is just told through the pictures. Well, my mum, who would read it to me, would, I think, come up with narration, but like, there's not much text. So even though this is a book in Dutch, the story can be understood just from the pictures, if that makes sense, because I don't think there is much text. So, like, this is what it looks like. Now my copy is obviously pretty old, but I think I was in a bookshop a few years ago, and they did still sell it then, because my mum bought it for, I think, a colleague who had, who just had a baby. So this one is the second edition from 1987, but so it's basically about the boy who loses his knuffle monkey, and what happens after that. And yeah, this was one of my favorites. And come to think of it now, yeah, as a kid, my family being mostly white, so I don't think I have many picture books that actually involve characters of color, which I would love to go to, if there is a library sale again at some point, see if they have some of that for sale, books for sale. I would like to read more picture books. Yeah. Anyway, it was a joy to reread this and to see the pictures again, sort of thing. Then the next one, which has a similar theme, is called Knuffel by Shelley Hughes. In English, this is called Dogger, so this is translated. Yeah, the spine is just kind of missing. Again, a well-beloved book by me and possibly also my siblings. But in Dutch, it's called Knuffel, which is a Dutch word that can mean like a plushie, a teddy bear, a stuffed animal. The word also means a hug, and it also means to hug. So here's the back. Although this synopsis is about a different book by the same author. But yeah. So here are some pictures of this book. So this one does have text. You can definitely tell, I mean, I now as an adult can, that this, because this was originally published in 1977, and I think this one is from 1984. So you can kind of see it kind of takes place in like an earlier time, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is also about a main character who loses his knuffle. Or in English, the knuffle, the stuffed animal, is called Dogger, so that's why it's called Dogger, because it's a little dog. But yeah, to me it's always been knuffle, so knuffle. So yeah. Yeah, anyway, another beloved picture book that I reread. Then we have Waar is Torre by Mieke Vermeulen. And this is a texture book. This one I bought at a library sale. Well, I mean, my mum did. But I did read it before from the library as well. I'm pretty sure before we found it in a library sale. And so this book is also made for children who are blind or vision impaired, but so this book is, but I don't know if you can see that. So it has textures, and so like the story is told with the help of that, so the parent can read this to the child. And it was just a joy to feel it again, as I remember how it used to feel. But yeah, I don't know that that's very visible, yeah, how that works, but yeah. This was also a joy to reread and feel again. And the last picture book that I reread, and I realized now I didn't mention any of the prompts or anything. I'm sorry. Maybe when I reread or read some picture books again, I can have more of a look into it. I know some of these like had a green color and green was a prompt. Yeah, but I don't know if I completely forgot it now, and I did make notes, but I didn't bring my notes, so yeah. So this one is Platvoetje. This is by Ingrid and Dieter Schubert, so one of the same authors as the first picture book that I talked about. And I have read another book by them, I think it was called Woeste Willem or something like that, which I reread a few years ago, because I read that as a kid, but I didn't own it, so, or maybe my copy got lost or something, I'm not sure. But I found it again at a library sale a few years ago and then reread it. But I don't think I have my channel yet then. So yeah, I do have that, but anyway. This one is Platvoetje. This is quite a small book. I'm pretty sure that my parents had a bigger version of this book that my mom read mostly to my brother. So I think that's in the box with his picture books. And I can't quite remember how I ended up with this little book, but I'm pretty sure that we had a bigger version of it. But I think my brother's got that. Anyway, it's the same story, just the letters are a bit, like, the font is a bit small and stuff, as you can see. But for me as an adult, that's not like as much of an issue. But yeah, again, this was one that I remembered from my childhood, and I think maybe I've read it to my brother as well, I'm not sure. But like, I'm familiar with this story, but I also associate it with him. My brother is 7 years younger than me, so maybe I watched my mum read it to my brother and I was there. Well, yeah, I don't know. So this one is about a little witch called Platvoetje and our character, human character, I mean, Nikki, and they meet. Yeah, this was another nice picture book to reread. So very nostalgic. And then the last book that I read in May is May's Case op Kamp. Actually, now I think about it, did I finish this in May? Or did I finish this on the 1st of June? That is a good question. Well, for now, since I don't remember, my notes are not in this room, we'll add it to this video, but it turns out if I did finish this in the beginning of June, then oops, my bad. So yeah, at the end of May, I at least started this book. This is May's Case, book 4 op Kamp by Mirjam Oldenhaven with illustrations by Rick de Haas. And yeah, this was another fun May's Case book. In this one, his class and he is a teacher who is, he's still learning to be a teacher, if that makes sense. So him and his class here, characters, go to like camp, like the classes, yeah, I don't know what the English words are, but yeah, now and then there are illustrations. The way May's Case teaches is funny, and yeah, but I enjoyed this book, just like the other May's Case books. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you had a good reading month in May. I read quite a few books in May, I think. I haven't done the statistics yet, but I read quite a few books this week and a half. And before that, I read quite a few library lounge, I think. Yeah, I haven't done the editing yet for the other videos. So that and this one, lots of editing to do when I get back home. Thank you very much for watching this video. Leave a like if you like, comment if you would like to. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Bye!